What's up, Cowboy fans? It's your homeboy, Cowboy Crunk, coming to you from Manama, Bahrain. Yes, it's your War Daddy here from the headquarters in the Middle East, kicking out another video today. I'm trying to get the channel rolling, so I want to say big ups and hops to thanks to everybody for yesterday for supporting the channel like I did. That was probably the best day I've had on the channel. Put out a great video, very informative about Earl Thomas. Had a bunch of great comments. I always go through the comments and check everything out. I took some notes off of that. So if you were on the channel yesterday, you saw the video, I appreciate it. If not, go back and check it out. But I will be going over some of the notes today. You guys had some really good insight, a few questions, but I think the video pretty much explained everything, so it wasn't a lot of questions. Today, I want to go over interior linemen, in particular guards, defensive tackles, the big boys in the middle, the guy, where the rubber meets the road, the big boys. It's a little bit different than I think some people project it as or kind of see it. I see these guys as young cats that come out of college. They're 22, 23 years old. It's a little young to be in there with these big guys that have been hitting the weight room. They've had professional cooks come to the house and cook them food all week. They've been in a weight room for 5, 6, 7 years, an NFL weight room with NFL competition in there. It's not like they walk in the weight room like they did back in college and they were benching 100 pounds more than anybody else on the squad and stuff like that. So powerlifting really takes a long time to develop, and strength. I don't know that it's different than powerlifting, but you guys know some of the boys we had back in the day were some of the strongest men on the planet playing offensive line, and it just takes that strength, and these guys don't have it when they come in and they're young. And the reason I was going into that was because the topic of Trysten Hill, we hear he's going to be starting possibly over Antoine Woods. Dante Poe is out with the injury, so we'll see how that goes. I don't particularly, I think maybe it's 50-50 on the snaps. Maybe they're trying to get him motivated, but these guys take a little longer to develop. Unless you get a guy like in the first round, top 10 pick, he's going to be behind these other defensive tackles, these other guards, these other centers as they come in. So just give him a little time to develop. Trysten Hill's taken a couple years. I was expecting this to be a year where he did come in and play better. Actually, he couldn't play worse than he played before because he really didn't play much at all. He had very little spots on the field, or very little repetitions on the field. Didn't get on the field enough to really make an impact or improve his skills. So we'll see where that goes this year. I'm going to go over what I actually did was brought up the leading sack guys in the NFL over the last year. And you can look at their age, and you guys got to think, coming out of college, you're about 22, 23 years old. So at least, or actually at a maximum, you're at 22, 23 years old, what I was trying to say by at least. But you're not going to find guys 21, 22 years old that are strong enough just to bull rush in there. And I know that this is kind of more edge rusher type numbers, but the same numbers in the same particular type body frame and power is needed for edge rushers. So that's why I kind of use this stat. I'm going to go over the top 15 guys, what their age is, and that will let you know that the older guys are developing, or the really good NFL edge rushers and interior linemen are developing at around 25 to 28 to 29 years old. Top rusher in the league last year, Sequil Barrett, he had 27, at 27 years old, had 19.5 sacks. So he's been out of the into the NFL and out of the NCAA for 5 years now. So much better production from him than any of the guys. The closest guy you see that's 24 years old is Joey Bosa, top 5 pick again. I think he was a second pick overall. Is that if I recall that correctly, but he's been out of the league now, 3 years? This is his second or third year out of the league, and he was an older player when he came out of the league as well. We have a 22-year-old in Josh Allen, who had actually 10.5 sacks, an outstanding year. He was 14th in the league though. So these guys are still falling at 14th in the league. Your you know, very, very respectable. You're one of the top rushers in the league, but you're still, he's still second on his team. No, he was actually first for the Jaguars. But as the age goes, the top guy was 27, number 2 was 29, 30 years old, 25 years old, 25, 27. You don't see these young guys in there. So that's where I stand on him. I'm glad Trysten Hill is there. I think they got rid of Taco Charlton a little early. I think he could have, it seemed like he was there forever and did nothing, but his third year in the league, he had 5 sacks last year, and he only played 10 games for Miami. So he didn't have that kind of production with us, and I'm expecting him to possibly have a better year this year. So we'll see. That's about it on the defensive tackles, the interior linemen. I think Trysten Hill should have a better season. He's going to contribute. It really would be nice to have had Dontari Poe there, and we're just going to have to roll with what we got. I think we're good on the defensive line. That's not our concern. I think our concern is the secondary. That's where most of us feel the threat is. So I'm going to go over that real quick. I kind of prepared for that video a little more than I did for this one, and I apologize. But as my work reduces here, I'll get to prepare for the videos a little more. One of the things that was mentioned in the comments, Earl Thomas is on a Hall of Fame borderline situation here. If he was to leave, and I'm adding this part on, they mentioned something about the Hall of Fame and he needs to finish strong. But if he was on, still on there with the Ravens and continued to play well and finish his career out, you know, maybe they got close to a Super Bowl and he had, you know, his interceptions and played the way he's been playing, he's a lock for the Hall of Fame. But the situation that's happened in the last year and a half he's had, those are things that are detrimental to your Hall of Fame ballot. So what I think is going to end up happening here, like I said, he really needs to come to Dallas. It's kind of like an intervention for him. He comes to Dallas, he gets his stuff together, he finishes his career on a good note, and he's capable of getting into the Hall of Fame. He knows that's where he's at. He knows that is a possibility of him, you know, being teeter-totting on the edge of having a Hall of Fame or not. So I think he comes in here with his best attitude and gets a regenerated start, stays with the Cowboys long-term or goes somewhere else. But we need a safety right now. That's my big concern. As I said on the video yesterday, I preached Earl Thomas, but that's because he's the best safety out there. It's kind of like C.D. Lamb falling to us like he did in the draft. We didn't necessarily need a receiver at that time, but we took the best player. Right now, best player on the free agent market is Earl Thomas, and we happen to need a safety. So it even fits better than the C.D. Lamb thing. I think it's just perfect. And the best thing is we're getting him at a good price. I think we'll end up getting him at a pretty good price. And also, he wants to be a Cowboy, so if he's going to turn his career around anywhere, he's going to do it in Dallas. You know, I mean, it's not wishful thinking. This is what he has to do. He's stuck in the corner. He's backed into the corner right now. So I want to get off of that subject. I'll go in through the comment box. Again, he's the best player available. Somebody mentioned that in the draft. Just like C.D. Lamb falling to us. Right, and the situation with him taking that money last year for the Ravens was more of a pride thing. There was other guys on the market. He had to get his market price, or else the other safeties that were on the market that got more than him. Now he's looked at by the league and by his co-workers and his co-players, whatever you want to call it. He's looked at as if you know, he knows he's not worth that. So. I gotta also, before the video goes, I got a short clip here of Jerry Jones last night talking about Earl Thomas that you definitely want to stick around for. So let me get this knocked out real quick. That's pretty much it. Earl Thomas is in an emotional state. I'm gonna get the video rolling for you. I'm gonna get into that. He's kind of at an emotional state. He needs to be at home. He needs to get his life settled down. He needs to get some home cooking, get his wife settled, his kids there. They could be close to home. And it would kind of, like I said earlier, be an intervention for him. And at this point, if you think about it, the only thing drawing his price down is his personal life. His play is there. Everything about him, if he had his personal life together, he would be making $15 million a year. So I think he has the ability to get back to that. I think he knows that. He knows that his value is not what it was before. That's obvious. That's why there's there's been interest in him, but he hasn't put it out. There's been interest in him. If there's been interest in other players that have had many more problems than him, and even this year, there's been interest in players that have more problems than he does. So another thing is, I did watch a video on him today. He had a very solid and stable early life in high school, still with his high school sweetheart. Went through college, no issues there. His coaches loved him. They just couldn't believe the type of person he was. He was in the band. In high school, he actually, in the middle of the game, he would run to the locker room, put his band costume on, go out there, march with the band, play the music, and go back in. He did that all the way through his senior year. So to me, that's pretty awesome. And the whole video was solid for him all the way through the Seattle days. They showed the part where he got injured. Everyone was still supporting him in Seattle when he got injured, and he flipped Pete Carroll off. All the players came out, got around him. Guys, this talk about nobody likes him is completely ridiculous. It's nothing more than some of the other things that are going on right now. Social media is blowing some things completely out of the water. There are some serious issues going on right now, of course. I'm not trying to get away from that. But what I'm trying to say is social media in a situation like this can blow things up really, really where they don't need to go. So I'm going to play the video here from Jerry Jones and the Rich Eisen show. You guys know who Rich Eisen is. He's the guy that does the 40-yard dash at the Combine for charity. And here's the video. Let me see if you guys can hear it.
This summer, lease for $0 down, 0 first.
Sorry guys, you know YouTube has to get their commercials in.
G70.
Here we go.
In terms of the back
It's only a minute long.
Jerry Jones,
minute and 40 seconds.
A UT stud who's got Hall of Fame credentials, and Earl Thomas is sitting out there. Is there any interest in him from the Cowboys as we're sitting here talking?
This is last night, guys. While I was making that
video,
video,
I have a lot of personal respect for the player and the career of Earl Thomas. We were able to bring in this past week a guy named Brandon Carr, that is quite a veteran and an accomplished veteran that can give us a lot of position flex. He can play a safety or corner, and that fit up crystal for opening week. But you know, having players building rosters is a never-ending process. And with Earl sitting out there, that certainly offers us, as long as he's sitting out there, an opportunity to take a look at how it comes down for us this week and go.
Aha. As long as he's sitting out there this week, it gives us an opportunity to look at how we play this week and see what's going on. Still holding his cards. Everyone knows they're interested. They've got to be interested. They've been interested before. Why would they not be interested now? So he's kind of playing his cards to let us know, and let the other NFL owners know, yeah, we're interested, but let us see how we play. Monday morning, they're picking his ass up as quick as they can pick up the laundry. They go pick Earl Thomas up.
From there. Now we have a couple of people back there that we're really excited about, frankly, and our Xavier Woods and Darren Thompson. We're pretty proud of those guys, and I really think that they'll give us good stud out there.
So good he knows
some position flex with Darryl Worley as a cornerback that can play some safety, and so it's not that we're not pretty sound in our minds at that safety position where a player like Earl Thomas could, but won't be back there for opening day.
Hey, you watched all the way.
See how he closed that out? We feel pretty comfortable back there, and Earl Thomas could be on the roster, but he won't be there opening day. So that leaves the door open, definitely. That meets the criteria to get him in on a vested veteran contract. He's not on the team on week 1. We step in on week 2, no matter how our secondary plays. We are not going to go into the season with a bunch of unproven rookies. Even if they played fantastic the first game, there's no reason not to go out and get Earl Thomas. Anyone that thinks he's going to be a locker room problem, like I said, we pay him for the games that he plays and we let him walk. The minimum is 25%, so if he came in the first game and farted in the locker room and pissed everybody off, and they said they wanted him out of there, and they went to Jerry Jones, I'd have to pay him 25%. As long as he walks around the locker room, he picks up his jock strap, he keeps his socks where they're supposed to be, he keeps everybody happy. I don't know what pisses these guys off in the locker room. I have no idea. But they get pissed off. They do have arguments. We've seen guys punched in the face, Tyrod Taylor. We've seen fights in the locker room on the field. It happens, guys. It's part of the game. It does happen more with others, and it's possible Earl Thomas is one of those guys. But if he gets released, we pay him the 25%. Nothing is hurt. We don't. It doesn't hit the cap. Only the 20. Whatever we pay Earl Thomas hits the cap. If we release him and we don't pay him part of that, that part doesn't hit the cap. So it benefits both of us. It benefits the Cowboys and Earl Thomas. I think they get it done. Jerry Jones is still on board. He's just trying to play the role down so that basically other teams aren't hot for him, because it could turn into a feeding frenzy of people trying to get Earl Thomas. I just don't think he wants to go anywhere else. That's the only thing that could happen. Somebody could throw money at him and he decides to take the money again. But I think he just bailed out of a situation like that and he's not willing to try it again. So we'll see. Part of it is hopeful, but the numbers, the cards, everything does line up, and I think we have Earl Thomas on Monday morning, possibly Tuesday, because they do have to wait till the last games are played so everybody has an opportunity. So as long as those things fall into place, I think it happens. And we'll see. We just gotta bring the guy in. Hopefully treats everybody right, and we can keep the guy around, and he can help us win a Super Bowl. So from Manama, Bahrain, your homeboy, Cowboy Crunk, the War Daddy, I'm out of here. Peace. Let's go get one. Number 6, baby. This is for 6.